So it's the same thing over and over again. If it's Sneeko having doubts, yes, Sneeko, we roll out the carpet for you. Go ask knowledgeable Muslims. They'll help you. That's what you do with your doubts. If it's Sister Aisha having a doubt about something, you see this proves she's pure evil. And then here it's, oh, Andrew Tate, he's claiming to be God in 27 different ways and telling people to worship Jesus and so on. That's fine. You just got to understand. You just got to try and get to what he really means by these things. If it's women saying, hey, we want better treatment from our husband, this is basically kufr. This is kufr. And one of the most messed up things in all of this is like how you could be treated if you're some sort of whistleblower, if you try to expose something that they don't want exposed. And I wasn't even familiar with this, but I got this from heard this from Thaddeus. But you've got this Imam Nick, and this was just a horrifying situation. But let's go ahead and check out a couple clips about Imam Nick, who, as far as I could tell, seems like a hero and was treated like he's the worst person in the world. Let's see.
In the fall of 2018, I was working as an imam in the...
Wait, so Abdullah, you're familiar with this?
Yeah, Huda, you want to talk about Imam Nick? She's made a whole video on him. Just quickly summarize what's going on here before.
So I'm familiar with Imam Nick. I became familiar with him over 10 years ago now when I first converted, and he used to post a lot of hadith on Snapchat and talk about it, and he talked about being a convert. So I've actually spoken to him a couple of times about just, hadith and Islam and stuff like that. So when this whole scandal happened back in 2018, this is how Imam Nick is. He stands up for what is right. So he disappeared. And over the years, I've wondered what happened to him. And then this resurfaces where he talks about what life after being, shut down by Yasser Qadi, Omar Suleiman, Yasser Birjas, all of these guys in the Dawa community. They basically shunned him. And,
they were all involved. I just thought it was like his couple people in his mosque or something.
No, he went to Yasser Qadi, Omar. He talked to all of these guys. He's like, listen, this is what's happening in the community. Suhaib Webb, yeah. Listen, this is what's happening in the community. Like, we need to talk about this. They were like, no. And they refused to touch this with a 10-foot pole. They refused. And he got shunned. And it was hard for him to find employment. It was hard for him to survive. He has a wife and I think 4 kids. So he actually had a couple of different GoFundMes. One was by Salman. That's also how I know Salman's a good person, because anyone who knows, Imam Nick and wants to help him is a good person in my eyes. So, actually in one of my videos, I helped bring awareness to his GoFundMe, and we raised a couple $1,000s for Imam Nick.
So he got kicked out of a mosque when he exposed sexual abuse, basically.
Yeah, he's about to say that. So yeah, I wasn't fully paying attention, but I was because I was checking out the clips as I'm getting them ready. But yeah, I just thought this was like a couple people in his mosque who had a problem with it. But yeah, that is bad if it's everyone else. Because in the bit that I've heard, guy sounds like a legendary hero. That's what he sounds like. And so if they throw him under the bus, my goodness. But let's go ahead and check this out.
In the fall of 2018, I was working as an imam and the director of outreach for the Islamic Center of Irving, one of the largest Islamic centers in the country. While I was on vacation in the mountains of Colorado, I received multiple missed phone calls from a community member, and upon returning they stated that they urgently needed to speak with me. After returning from vacation, I met with him on that Thursday, and he explained to me how he witnessed an elderly man inappropriately touching a child at the center, and when he got up to confront the man, he ran away. Later that day or the next, the community member witnessed a teenager threatening the same old man for touching his younger brother. The community member explained how the confrontation was stopped, and that he, along with the older brother of the victim, family members of the perpetrator, met with members of the board to discuss the situation.
Everyone got this so far? So he hears there's a guy who is behaving inappropriately with a child, and then as he's going back, he finds out now someone else, an older boy, is going after this guy for messing with his younger brother. So this is like a pattern of behavior with the guy. He is abusing children in the mosque, and Imam Nick finds out about it.
During this meeting, the events were discussed, and the board members were presented with a picture of the victim who had a golf ball-sized bruise on his cheek, from where the old man was forcibly sucking on it. In some
So they had photographic evidence. He's sucking on a little kid's face, and this gets presented to the board of the mosque.
twisted manner, either by fear, manipulation, or incredible stupidity, it was agreed that this matter would be squashed and that the family would be given a few days to get the elderly man back to Pakistan. After being informed of the situation, I requested as much evidence as I could from the...
What's that?
They instead of dealing with it with the proper way, which is authorities, they snuck him out of the country.
Yeah, and what's he going to do there? That's the problem, and it goes back to. Fortunately, this was eventually addressed in the Catholic Church, but it was a similar problem where we don't want to cause a big ruckus. Let's just ship this guy off somewhere else. Well, he's going to go do the same unless he's dealt with that problem. He's going to go do the same thing somewhere else. That's why you have to deal with the problem. We know it makes you uncomfortable. We know it can be an embarrassment. We know it can be this horrible ordeal. You have to deal with it sometimes. You just have to. Otherwise, it just continues. So anyway, and by the way, it's what we were talking about earlier is about people working themselves into these situations. This guy is a sexual predator of children. He obviously, I mean, this is all I've heard about him, but obviously he has worked himself into a situation where even if I get caught, they're not going to expose it because they don't want to be embarrassed. And you can't have your mosque being the place for that. You can't. You got to deal with it anyway. And Imam Nick realizes that and he tries to deal with it. Watch what happens.
Witness who also provided me with the picture which showed the clear evidence of the abuse. It just so happened that the following day would be our congregational prayers, for which I was scheduled to deliver the sermon. The next morning I went directly to the police department where I reported everything that I knew. I then went to the Islamic Center where I delivered the sermon, which subsequently went viral, exposing the issue to the community and denouncing the actions of the board.
So obviously he's going to be the hero of the mosque and the ummah for standing up and not letting people sweep this under the rug, right? Right, everyone?
Should be.
My sermon, the president of the institution grabbed the microphone to calm everyone down. He explained how he appreciated me and my efforts to bring these types of issues to the attention of the community. He confirmed that they knew of this incident and that they did their own investigation, that they brought it to the attention of the parents who did not want to inform the police. He tried to state how this was just a big misunderstanding and how I didn't have all of the information and so it didn't exactly happen the way that I had related it. This narrative was later used as part of the smokescreen to present the idea that this was just some sort of cultural misunderstanding. He stated how there would be no repercussions against me for bringing this issue to the community.
No repercussions? Like how are you talking about repercussions against him? How does that even brought up? Repercussions against, oh, don't worry, there's not going to be any repercussions against you. We're going to mess up your life.
How dare you? You went to the police. How dare you?
This is bad.
That's basically what
My
happened.
sermon,
Yeah, this is bad.
along with his reaction, were all streaming live and uploaded to both Facebook and YouTube. It was almost immediately deleted and then miraculously uploaded again to a community activist organization's Facebook page called Face. It was then put into a shortened and condensed version which went viral on Facebook, and then the full version again was uploaded on YouTube. The next day I was put on administrative leave and I was told not to come back to the center. After about 2 months, eventually I was told to come back to the center, but that I was to stay in my office and to not interact with the community. After a short period of time, I was told that I no longer had to come into work. I was officially let go and my contract expired. Throughout this process, there was next to no support, locally or nationally, from anyone in the community of any meaningful value.
We've got 2 more short clips of Imam Nick, but I have to say, Imam Nick, I'm not a Muslim. Lots of Muslims do not like me. Understandably, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I understand why you wouldn't like me and so on. I have to say, you did absolutely the right thing, and you should be regarded as a hero for standing up for kids and for not just sweeping this under the rug and passing on an abuser of children and passing him off to go abuse other children somewhere else. So you're a hero, legend status. Check out 2 more clips to see what else he's pointing out about this.
So if doing the right thing puts me in line with the wrong people that you don't like, I don't care. If the only help I have to save a drowning boy is somebody who you find
Hey, I said
appalling,
that earlier.
and I'm sure you could think of some names.
Hey, I said that earlier. But now it sounds like he's talking about people like us. Okay, let me back that up. That's funny. I normally say if I'm in a burning building and I'm in there with an atheist and because I had to say this because people for years always why are you friends with AP? He's an atheist, and so I was like, what are you talking about? We agree. We're both under a death sentence from this. The people we're talking about, they want both of us. They're attacking both of us. So we're on the same page here. Yeah, so
Usually,
Imam,
yeah.
Imam Nick is absolutely correct. Guys, I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, atheist, you should have a problem with this sort of abuse and you should want it exposed. So he is right. It's such a weird situation. I would understand if he there's some private matter that can be resolved between one guy and another and you don't run to the police over. If it's someone who is abusing kids, that is not something you just send the guy to a different place for. You got to deal with that. So yeah. All right, let's check this out.
So if doing the right thing puts me in line with the wrong people that you don't like, I don't care. If the only help I have to save a drowning boy is somebody who you find appalling, and I'm sure you could think of some names, I'm not going to not act because I'm afraid of how you will think it will reflect on me because of who you think I associate with. Point number 7, that I made Muslims look bad. Well, if your Islam is grabbing children's crotches and sucking on their face or covering up for those who do, I didn't make you look bad. I merely put a mirror in front of you.
Wow.
And the mirror doesn't make you look bad. It just shows you who you are.
Wow.
And I have nothing to do with whatever version of Islam that is.
I like this.
You want to
guy.
make Muslims look good? You should have done the right thing. You should have said something. You should have done something. My Islam doesn't care how you think or how anybody else thinks it looks. You had the opportunity to do the right thing. One of my best friends from college, who's a Roman Catholic and knows a thing or two about this sort of stuff, said to me, man, you served up your community a grand slam. And they struck out.
Wow. One more clip of him. I have to say, wow. Dude is a hero, and look how he's been treated. And I got one more clip of Imam Nick here.
Oh, we were just having a blast. Obviously, I lost my job. We moved across the country. I had no money. My only car got totaled. We were homeless for a period of time. We ended up living in somebody's attic, sleeping on the floor, living at a
Wait, this is all because he exposed this situation? All this stuff happened?
Because
basically
Yeah.
it became unemployable.
because he
And-
went to Medina, right? And his Islamic teachings, that's his career basically, right?
Oh, okay.
Sheikh.
And
Wow.
he's also originally from Massachusetts too, so he was living in Texas. So I think he had to move back to his home state because, how are you going to ever become an imam again in Texas after that? Or period.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
Well,
going
I
against
think-
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it implies that secular jobs wouldn't hire him either, right? They'd be
Right.
in the
he does
employment
say that.
process.
Right.
They'd Google their name. They'd just see a headline. They'd be
Oh,
like,
headline about sexual
yeah,
abuse in the
not here.
mosque and so on. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
whistleblower. He said they don't like whistleblowers.
Oh,
they
that's
like
true.
it. They just don't want to hire them.
Yeah, because you don't want someone who's running to the cops over anything, even if it's something serious. Wow. So he stood his ground. Let's see.
My only job opportunity was 100% commission as a door-to-door sales guy when I'd never sold a single thing in my life. God knows how many times I've lost employment opportunities because somebody Googles my name and just reads the headlines without digging deeper to find out what actually happened. Because everybody loves a whistleblower, just not in their organization. Now I'm living the American dream like everybody else, scraping by every month just trying to make rent. Throughout these past 5.5 years, there was absolutely no support. The amount of people that even reached out to me or talked to me on a consistent basis I could count on one hand. And the vast majority of them don't respond to my calls anymore.
What's that?
Salman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sense of community.
absolutely. I wanted to highlight that just right now. I just was about to highlight that. It's the exact same pattern with Salman, Abu Aya, and a few others. And basically, we have to highlight those who give a good representation of Islam. I personally, this is how I feel. And I think it's an extremely horrible, heinous practice. And it was practiced on Brother Abdullah and I think Huda as well. Like when a certain moment of time in their lives, they were, accused of things that they have absolutely nothing to do with. They were accused of being imposters of their lives. They were never Muslims before. So this is disgusting, and I strongly believe that it has to change.
And
I mean,
I'm gonna say too, like in the Muslim community, in the world of dawa and all these celebrity moms and such, there's very, very, very few Imam Nicks out there that will, his GoFundMe that we helped spread awareness about Imam Nicks. The person who set it up, he said it best. Said he sacrificed all and then some for his community, and he truly did because this destroyed his life by sticking up for children.
this is
True.
it's such a weird situation because when we're all hearing this, Christian, atheist, whoever, when we're hearing this, we're thinking, this guy's a legend. This guy's a hero. This guy should be celebrated. Wow. And what do we find out? And his life is destroyed because of it. And it's like, what? Wait, how's this guy not propped up as like a hero in Islam? A guy who was willing to sacrifice everything to protect children, and yet they attack him. And yeah, this is connected to everything else. Look at what they do with Salman. What's Salman doing? Trying to help people. Salman is trying to help people who otherwise are going to be left behind, and so on. And so he's the bad guy. Aisha trying to stand up so that other women aren't abused like she was. She's the bad one. This is seriously dysfunctional.
Also, David, Salman shared his fundraiser.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So this is all right. There's a few more seconds. Let's see.
It was utterly shattered. My religious and spiritual observance went into a complete and utter tailspin. Next to no one reached out to assist me at any point in time or even check in like, hey man, how you doing? Where you been? Haven't heard from you in a while. And the ones who did weren't from our community. And for those of you that think that now is a good time for you to reach out and say, hey brother, how's it going? I'm sorry I haven't talked to you in a while. Just wanted to check in. That ship sailed. I spent 5 hard years trying to figure out how to navigate this path on my own. Most lone wolves separated from the pack die. I'm sure for some of you it will come with some irritation to know that this one still lives. This situation helped to weaken an already broken individual. My spiritual practice fell to the point where I was ashamed of my own existence.
Well, dude's a hero. Dude's a hero. Shame on everyone who threw that guy under the bus. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. And shame on you if you pounce on that guy for defending children, if you attack Salman for standing up for people, shame on you. If you attack Aisha for standing up for herself and for other women who have no defense from these Dawa guys and so on, shame on all of you. You guys have a really screwed up community that you need to fix, and you need to listen to the people who are trying to fix it. All right, guys. So we're going to have to do a part 2 because we've been going for a while and we still got a lot of stuff to go through. We've kind of just scratched the surface. We've gone through about half the stuff that we wanted to cover. But yeah, we're going to have a part 2. I just want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to share any final thoughts. Hoda, what do you final thoughts on any of this as far as part 1?
As far as part 1 goes, well, I'm glad that the mega mosque, these Muhammad Hijabs and Ali Dawas and all of these people, all of this dirt is getting unearthed and exposed, because what's under all of this flowery Dawa stuff, it's very, very rotten and awful. And I'm glad that that people like Sister Aisha are speaking out, and Salman and Imam Nick.
All right, and so I honored Abdullah's. I remembered Abdullah's "ladies first" saying from earlier in the stream. So we got Huda, and now Sister Aisha. Any final? We'll have more to say in part 2 as we go through some more videos and so on, going through the hypocrisy of these guys. But final thoughts on anything or anything we've covered in part 1.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much for getting together for this good cause. And I probably would just say, again, re-echo what I said earlier. So I'm saying that I'm calling everyone who's engaging in spreading their own worldviews and their own ideas, their own perspectives, to address each other with mutual respect, and to overlook the method of mockery or otherwise that would just create an environment of hatred and create later on consequences socially that wouldn't really be appreciated. Again, it was really good. It was a very good representation of collaboration, regardless of our differences and personal beliefs. So thank you so much for having me today.
Now, you have we've been following the story, and it goes back long before we were aware of, because we didn't know what was going on last year and so on. But the basic timeline is you had the situation with Muhammad Hijab. You tried to get him to. So at first, you're trying to get him to basically be a man and treat you how you should be treated. He refused and so on. So eventually you go to various Muslim scholars, try to get them to help you deal with the situation. They don't. You eventually find Salman behind veils. They were happy to help you, and they did. Again, I cannot imagine anyone doing a better job having to deal with this situation. So they did an awesome job. But with that said, even after everything has been exposed, people still aren't kind of basically acknowledging it. It's like, okay, that's done. Now let's just move on. And Muhammad Hijab gets to be the champion of the Ummah. It doesn't look like there's anything's going to change, except for maybe these guys will be a little more careful what they're doing behind the scenes. But that's not helping. It seems like they're going to be doing the exact same thing. So you're coming on with us to try and draw more attention to the situation. I did want to ask you about something else as far as one more step. So as far as what you're doing now, drawing more attention to it, calling out more people to condemn this situation, or at least to take steps to stop this from happening in the future. But there's one more avenue I've heard about that you may be pursuing some illegal option. So what's going on there?
Yes, well, I was expecting that Hijab is going to at least apologize. That was very long ago. He didn't. I expected that our scholars and shuyukh would correct him Islamically. Sadly, this didn't happen, except for one single channel who addressed that from an Islamic perspective, which is Knowledge North. And I am here to echo what he shared. And also, I thought that I have to highlight the fact that if Muhammad Hijab's preachings and practices and influence spread, this is going to create a very big issue socially. So as long as he didn't apologize, he doubled down on his actions, I decided that it's a very strong and right step to try to take this to court.
And yeah, the very least we would want to see out of a lawsuit. I have to say, matter of fact, I'll say Muhammad Hijab. If you make this right, if you go ahead and make this right before Sister Aisha has to sue you and so on, if you make this right, you contact her, you do whatever she says to make it right with her, and then you acknowledge your own deception in all this. In other words, you acknowledge that ridiculously, idiotically, stupid, fake, photoshopped screenshot that you and your community put out, the fake AI confession, you like the level of deception in your brain that made you think that is a good thing to do. We'll make a fake confession and put it in her voice on AI that anyone can then plug in and say, oh yeah, it's AI. The fact that you think you could get away with that and that you have no problem doing that you have no problem just lying about people, acknowledge that. Just admit everything you've done that is public. If there's other stuff you've done behind the scenes, you want to deal with that behind the scenes. I'm not your boss here. The stuff where you have publicly lied about Aisha and about others, you got to apologize. You got to apologize for all that and acknowledge what you've done. You need to apologize to Sheikh Tarana and admit that either you or your community, whatever, whoever's lying and blackmailing it, apologize for that and do whatever he says is required to make things right. Apologize for you guys attacking Salman and so on, for just trying to help a victim of you guys. Do all of that basic stuff, which is basically on the level of being a man. Do all that stuff. I will never mention this again. I will never mention it again, ever, at any point in my entire life. If you do not do that, then we're all going to support Aisha. We're all going to support Aisha in suing you until you are forced by courts to do that sort of thing.
Yes, and this is very well said, because even the apology that so many people have heard Sheikh Mohammed Tarauna say, a lot of threats and a lot of other nasty actions happened afterwards. So it wasn't really a real apology to start with. I am looking forward for the right things to happen. There is nothing that could possibly pay back the degree of damage that was caused from all these actions. No one is going to give you your life back. No one is going to understand how much low you felt when you did go through all of these things. And I'm talking here about as a voice of all the women that have gone through these things, not only myself. There are a lot of implications that came from these actions. And the only right things to do is to echo the right Islamic ethics publicly, and to apologize to all the women and children that he has harmed. As long as the scholars, as long as all the people that got involved in this case and they got harmed by Muhammad Hijab.
Yeah, so bottom line, Muhammad Hijab, you've always seemed willing to throw everyone around you under the bus, to destroy every life around you, destroy the lives of everyone around you, all for your own benefit. We're saying for once in your life, just stop that. Stop it. You're being exposed. There's no way you're avoiding this or just sweeping this under the rug. We're going to keep coming at you until you do the right thing for once in your otherwise pathetic life. Do the right thing in this situation. Be a man for once. Admit what you've done. Admit the horrible things you've done and move on. And again, I won't bring it up again. Make this situation right. I will never mention it again. That's the best you're going to get, because otherwise we're going to keep mentioning it every time your name comes up. Okay, Thaddeus, Abdullah, what can we all do what can we all do to help Sister Aisha out here with this one?
Yeah, I'm going to say, as a human being, first and foremost, also as a Christian, I feel it's my responsibility to fight for people who are victims, to stand up for what's right. And for that reason, I want to point out that Aisha has started a fundraiser to aid with legal costs, get a lawyer's opinion on how strong the case is. And I'll also point out that she has had to move. She's had, as it was told in the story, she lived across the street from Muhammad Hijab's mother's house. So people knew where she lived, right? People who are very loyal and enthusiastic about supporting Muhammad Hijab.
Hey,
So
quick question, Thaddeus. Would these be the same kinds of guys who like stormed Mufti Abu Layth's house and so on? So they're kind of serious.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not saying that anyone did that, but there was certainly a serious possibility.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the point is there are people over there who are like just really staunch defenders of their dawah guy and are willing to go to extreme lengths to deal with anyone who's bothering them, right? The point is, we know that for a fact because we've seen other situations where these guys like storm someone's house and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those reasons, I strongly endorse people donating to the fundraiser, and I have done so myself. And of course, there'll be a link to that in the video description.
Okay, guys, so there's a link in the video description to Aisha's fundraiser. It's going to, there's no way of telling what things are going to cost or basically what you can actually sue for, but there's clearly a bunch of lying about Aisha, and again with a photoshopped screenshot calling her a liar, an AI generated fake confession, all this is like destroying her ability to function in the Muslim community. So they've done serious damages. I don't know what they can be held accountable for, but I hope Aisha finds out. And even to talk to a lawyer, get a lawyer to take a look at all this stuff is going to cost some money. So be sure to support her. Click on that link and support her. Abdullah, I'll give you any final thoughts before we close out.
Yeah, I mean, who do they have? That Muhammad Hijab has all of his Dawa guys supporting him. Who does Aisha have? She has all of us, and we are all different and cannot be any more similar, but we are so different. We live in different countries, even we live in different places, and we're all coming together. So we're not Hijab. We're not gonna let you get away with this. Your lies, your fake, all that stuff you did, the blackmailing. You're not gonna get away with it. It's time to just call it quits, say sorry for what you did, and end it, because we're not going to let this drop. We're going to continue coming after you until you deal with this the way that Aisha wants you to deal with this and the way it should be dealt with.
Absolutely. And so for everyone who's watching, whatever your perspective is, there are two kinds of people. Either you think it's okay to abuse and manipulate and take advantage of women, or you don't. If you're in that first category, I think you're a scumbag. I'm not talking to you. For everyone else who believes it's wrong to abuse women in this way, or in the case of Imam Nick, abusing children and so on, this stuff, if you believe this stuff needs to be called out and exposed, even if it's in a different community, it has to be done for the good of your fellow human beings. I encourage you to contribute to that fundraiser so that Aisha can see how to move forward. All right, everyone. So that's part one. We've got more to cover in part two. Links to everyone's channels and so on, and to the fundraiser are all in the description. We'll catch you all next time.